This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the town of North Haven.
Good evening and welcome to the September 2024 meeting of the North Haven Police Commission. My name is Larry Laswell. I'm the chairman of the commission. To my left is Bob Hannon, our vice chairman. To my right is Mark Calafiore, our secretary. To his right is Commissioner Mead. And to my far left is our new commissioner, Paul Wyman. I want to welcome Paul to the board and give you a little bit about the information about Paul. Paul has lived in North Haven for many, many years. He has had a business. He's retired now. Paul's been involved in planning and zoning, and actually is the vice chairman, I believe, of planning and zoning. And we welcome you, and I think you'll be a great addition to this board. So on behalf of the board members, welcome to our board.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Paul, welcome. I know I've known you for quite a long time, but yeah, welcome to the board. It's a pleasure having you, and you're going to be a great asset, and it's a great board to serve on. Very nonpartisan, so we always do what's best for the guys and for this town. So again, nice to have you on board.
Yeah, we know you to be terrific. So, and I know personally, so that's great.
Okay, with that, we'll start with the swearing in of Chief Engineer John Scarpa. John has recently retired after serving 25 years. A great mentor, a great asset to the community. We're very fortunate you're staying on to help us out, so congratulations here. Great family too, by the way. Raise your right hand, repeat after me, please. I solemnly swear that
I solemnly swear that
I will bear true faith and allegiance to
I will bear true faith and allegiance to
the United States of America
the United States of America
and the state of
and
Connecticut,
the state of Connecticut,
and will support the Constitution thereof.
and will support the Constitution thereof.
I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all duties incumbent upon me
all duties incumbent upon me
as supernumerary of the town of North Haven.
as supernumerary of the town of North Haven.
I agree to obey and be bound
I agree to obey and be bound
by such rules and
by such
regulations
rules and regulations
as are or may be made
as are or may be made
from time to
from
time
time to time
established by the Board of Police Commissioners.
established by the Board of Police Commissioners.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations. Next order of business is the swearing in of our new officer, Mr. Seth White. We're always pleased to have new officers, especially somebody who came in from another community. Guilford's loss, certainly our gain, so welcome to North Haven. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear that
I solemnly swear that
I will bear true faith and allegiance to
I will bear true faith and allegiance to
the United States of America
the United States of America
and the state of Connecticut,
and the state of Connecticut,
and will support the Constitution thereof.
and will support the Constitution thereof.
I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all duties incumbent upon me
all duties incumbent upon me
as a police officer of the town of North Haven.
as a police officer of the town of North Haven.
I agree to obey and be bound
I agree to obey and be bound
by such rules and regulations
by such rules and regulations
as are or may be made
as are or may be made
from time to time
from time to time
established by the Board of Police Commissioners.
established by the Board of Police Commissioners.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
Stay safe. This time we'll take a break with filming, lots of photos. Oh, I'm gonna pinning, sorry, pinning.
Yes.
Your wife's pinning you? Yes. Perfect. Hi, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations, beautiful son.
Thank you.
Perfect.
There you go.
Good job. This time we'll take a break for some photos, go back to our meeting.
Don't go far, Seth. We're gonna grab you for.
We are back now in open session after having sworn in Supernumerary John Scarpa, and Police Officer, Patrol Officer Seth White. I'm asking now for approval of the minutes of the August 27, 2024 meeting, both regular and executive session, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Correspondences?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have, I think, 3 pieces of correspondence. The first one, very long letter, very nice letter. It's from a resident on Corey Road. His name is Mr. Ian Sancho. And he, for the sake of brevity, I'll just paraphrase what he wrote, but he wants to recognize Officer Lee Capazzo for his hard work, dedication, and professionalism in resolving the case of my iPad being stolen off his porch. Officer Capazzo apparently detained the subject. He was subsequently arrested and charged. Thanks to Officer Capazzo for helping to solve this case so quickly. And lastly, he just states that he is the type of officer that makes us feel safe in this neighborhood. And he says to the chief, please let Officer Capazzo know that this neighborhood feels safer today because of him and other officers like him. So, good job, Officer Capazzo. And I got 2 letters here, and they're both from residents from Fair Lawn Drive, and I just want to thank the chief. Thanks for having officers posted on Fair Lawn Drive during the fair. They did an outstanding job. And that's from Mrs. Kelly, and then another one from Mrs. Jones Sullivan. She's also on Fair Lawn Drive, I believe, and she just, again, wants to thank Chief Glenn for having police coverage at the corner of Fair Lawn Drive and Pool Road during the peak hours of the fair. They did a wonderful job, and it really made a big difference and helped everyone keep safe. So, thank you, and that's about it.
Awesome, thank you. Well, they do a tremendous job. Our force is phenomenal. With that, just the chairman's report briefly, just a reminder, it's school's in session, and please watch out for the crossing walks and school buses. Halloween's approaching, so again, be careful, watching out for children and their parents, doing trick-or-treating. And as a reminder, again, we always talk about locking your homes, your cars, your sheds, et cetera, et cetera. And just looking over the report, I happen to notice that, I'm sure Chief talked about, that August was a very busy month, obviously, with calls for service up and motor vehicle stops up, and a lot of action. But they're doing a great job, and we're very fortunate to have a tremendous force with tremendous leadership. With that, I'll turn it over to the chief.
Thank you. I'll start with our budget report at the end of period 2, which covers us through July and August. We're at 15.5% expended, as you can see in your packet. This is under a self-imposed limit, which would normally track at about 17.3% expended. So we're off to a good start. A big driver of that is the overtime is down compared to last year, and having more officers on the road helps with that. But we are keeping our eye on overtime, especially with dispatch, because it's the same budget line, and we are short 2 dispatchers right now. So we're going to keep our eye on that, as we always do, but we're in good shape. It's still early in the fiscal year to track those things, but we feel good about it. We are preparing, believe it or not, for next fiscal year's budget requests. That's how early we prepare for these things. I submit the budget request in November, December. We go through a number of vetting stages with the finance director, with the first selectman, and then the budget workshop. So in the next month or 2, if any commissioners have any ideas, any requests, any concerns, if you want to contact me through the chair, that'd be great, and we'll consider whatever anybody has to offer. If any commissioners have any questions about the budget, that's in the package.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, and then the traffic report, we had a significant motorcycle crash on Washington Avenue recently. Unfortunately resulted in a fatality. Our regional crash investigative team, South Central accident reconstruction team came out, and they're taking care of the investigation for us. Of course, we have North Haven officers assigned as reconstructionists to that team, but they're definitely a value-added regional team for us. The signage request to extend no parking on McDermott Road that was approved by the commission last month. All the posts are in. The signs, I believe, were delivered today. So this week, all those signs will be up and completed. And we're continuing with the regional traffic enforcement. We're committed to that. That includes all 6 of our regional partners, North Branford, East Haven, Branford, Guilford, Madison. One day each week, we're in a different town, and it's been really well received. And again, we use grant funding to staff that each week. The traffic division is still working to upfit 3 new vehicles, meaning all the technology, the lights, the sirens, the prisoner transport apparatus, the lock boxes in the trunk. There's a lot to it. So that's in process. Under training and professional standards, again, please refer to your reports in your packet. There's a lot of training that occurred. We're committed to training as many officers in as many different topics as possible. Just to highlight a few, Officer Ferrucci is in the Connecticut State Police K-9 Academy with his new K-9, which is the 4th for North Haven right now. He is scheduled to graduate that class in December. Next month I'll get you the exact date if I have it. Officer Seth White, who was sworn in tonight, will begin field training tomorrow. That should just be 3 or 4 weeks of field training, then he'll be on his own. That's really the value of hiring certified officers. We plan to swear in 3 new officers at the December 17th commission meeting. One is a certified officer who will start field training right away. The other 2 will start the police academy on January 3rd, 2025. We're also conducting a promotional test to fill Sergeant Scarpa's position. So we're just testing for sergeants right now. It's a 90-day period that we announce the promotional test so they can prepare for that. We expect to have the results, the ranking, and the scores to present to the commission in the November meeting, and hopefully in the December meeting, if a choice is made in November, we could swear in the new sergeant with the 3 new officers. So that should be a good meeting for us. Under Uniform Services Division, as the chairman noted, calls for service are up. Year to date, at the end of August, we were at 19,272 compared to last year at 17,648. You should remember last year was a busy year also, so we're steadily climbing. In August alone this year, we responded to 2,685 calls for service compared to 2,130 calls for service in August of last year. Motor vehicle stops are up. We always encourage proactive policing. In August of this year, we stopped 251 cars compared to 139 cars in August of last year. Year to date, at the end of August, we stopped 2,285 cars compared to the same time period last year of 1,306 cars. So we're happy to see that activity increasing. Total arrests are also up, which is nice. We don't want to see crimes, but when crimes occur, we want to be able to solve them, obviously. So in August, we had 39 arrests compared to 25 from August of last year. Year to date, we had 364 compared to 291. All larcenies is really the property crime catch-all category of a number of different types of larcenies. And that's down this year as it has been for the past few months. And year to date, we were at 277 larcenies compared to 315 larcenies at the same time period last year. So like I always say, more officers on the road, more opportunity for proactive policing. We continue to participate in the Violent Crime Task Force, which has been very busy recently, but it's incredibly valuable to North Haven. We continue to receive grant funding for the violent crime reduction with the task force, as well as extra patrols in North Haven, grant funding for stolen vehicle deterrent patrols here in North Haven, as well as the regional traffic enforcement. Does anybody have any questions under the Uniform Services Division?
I was just gonna mostly compliment you if I hear this all correct and I read it the same way, because it looks like you have so much more activity and so many more stops, but less accidents. So many more arrests, but significantly less crimes. And while you have more stops, you don't have percentage-wise more citations. So it's not like you're out just arresting people, it's just proportional, and so it's great. I mean, people are safer in town, everything.
Thank you, and that's the philosophy that we take. You know, the more proactive people are, we don't have to give people, you know, $200 tickets every day. We could use it as an opportunity to educate drivers during the car stops and just really deter crime. That's our major focus right now.
Yeah, that's great.
So under the Investigative Services Division, again, please refer to your reports for details. It's a very detailed report. We're not going to talk about all the specifics. But in August, we had 6 stolen vehicles compared to 9 the previous month. 4 of those 6 have been recovered and processed for evidence. We had some commercial burglaries, but no residential burglaries in August. But we have increased our overnight patrols because of those commercial burglaries. We had 2 purse snatchings, as I reported last month, that occurred in July. Both were on Universal Drive. We believe the same suspects were involved, and we anticipate arrest warrants to be signed fairly soon, so we're happy about that. Today we responded to the middle school and high school campus. This was the 3rd time this school year already that we've responded to schools for active threats of violence. All 3 times they were shown to not be credible, but it's something we're obviously committed to, as you can see in our social media pages and the traditional media that we report to. Our school resource officer program that is funded through our supernumerary program has been invaluable. We have officers there in every school, every single day, that children and students are there, which is huge. The increase in police officers that we've acquired in the last few years have made a big difference. The response today was incredible. It was quick. We had an overwhelming number of police officers from our patrol division, supervisors, our traffic division, our detectives, and our ISD, our investigative services division, hitting the ground running, looking up technology-based investigations with IP addresses and where these threats came from. So it was well received, and we also appreciate the relationship we have with the Board of Education.
Yeah.
The deputy chief is our connection. As soon as something happens, he's on the phone with the superintendent, and they're communicating and coordinating things, and it's really a good program.
If I may, there was a post today on Facebook about asking the question, do we have an SRO in all the schools? So I'm glad you brought that up, that we do have an SRO in all the schools, the elementary, middle school, and high school.
Every single school, yeah. We have 7 SROs that work full-time, the 4 elementary schools, the middle school, and we have 2 SROs in the high school. And why it's so important to have people like John Scarpa, who was sworn in tonight as a supernumerary, to have that bench of supernumeraries who can fill in if they're sick, if they're out of work for whatever reason. And if they are, and we don't have supernumeraries, now we're paying police officers in overtime. So we committed to that program a long time ago. It was created long before me, and it's the kind.
I was here.
Yeah, it's the kind of program that once you start, as far as I'm concerned, you can't back out of it. So I have no request for the Benary Scholarship tonight. I'd like to just note a few things coming up. Officer Michael Stevens is receiving an award for his contributions for domestic violence investigations. This is given by our domestic violence victim services partners at the Sound of Hope ceremony on October 1st. So we're very proud of him for that. Officer Sargent and Officer Highland will be recognized by the Mothers Against Drunk Driving this fall for their DUI investigations and efforts. So it's nice to see that recognition. And anything else I have is for executive session.
Awesome. Congratulations to all those being recognized. It's a job well done. Anything further from our board? Any questions before we go to executive session for personnel matters? Good? Okay. Motion to adjourn to executive session for personnel? So moved. Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are back in open session now after having an executive session to discuss personnel. I'd like a motion for the renewal of supernumerary positions for Rich Hannon and Tom McLaughlin.
I'll make that.
Okay. Second?
I'll do it. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any further business? Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.